of our dear president to continue to assure our people it gets bad before it gets better. We are at the point of our own bad. By tomorrow or next, the best of us will be seen by everyone.
We are happy because the figures are in line with modern reality, but of particular notice is the keen interest of Rivers State government in critical areas, including but not limited to road infrastructure, connecting one local government to the other, thereby bringing Rivers State to united rivers. Also worthy of mention is your key attention to youth development.
In section 109, the Constitution provides a reason for which any member of the legislature can cross carpet. And that reason, vividly put, is the fact that there is a case of irreconcilable crisis. The crisis in PDP is irreconcilable. Are you not aware that PDP does not have secretary at the national level? There's a pattern there. So isn't that confusion enough? Are you not aware that it was their indiscretion that led to their failure in the presidential election, particularly in my state? The 4 persons who sat and claimed to have declared the seat of 27 persons are even in error. It's illegality. They don't qualify. That house ought not to meet at all.
The Taraba State Executive Council has approved the sum of 311.3 billion naira as the 2024 budget proposal. The State ESCO gave the approval at the end of the council meeting. Addressing newsmen on the outcome of the State's Executive Council meeting, the State Commissioner of Information and those of Finance and Justice said capital expenditure has the highest allocation of 64.1%. while recurrent expenditure is 35.9%. And according to them, the Governor Agbo-Kefas-led administration made education one of the priorities in the proposal. The budget proposal will be presented by the Governor to the State House of Assembly on Friday.
So the budget size for 2024 is 311 billion, 388 million, 525,661 naira 96 kobo. The education sector has the highest, works and infrastructure development, respectively. The capital expenditure is 64.1%. It has never happened since inception of the Taraba State. This is the first time we are having 64.1% as our capital expenditure.
Proposed budget as contained in as presented for 2024 is in line with the provision of the proposed 2024 budget is totally in variance with what we had or what we inherited from the 2023 budget, in that what we have in the 2024 budget, basically the capital expenditure is higher than the recurrent expenditure.
The session was very long. It was thorough, it was clinical, and it was completely considered. There were robust arguments, and then at the end of it all, our thinking tallied with the intention and the policies of His Excellency.
Let's also bring you some developments in Ondo State. Deputy Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa has assumed office as the acting governor of the state. Ayedatiwa addressed a statewide broadcast calling on residents to be united and pray for the restoration of Governor Rotimi Akeredolu's health. Ayodele Muradeo has more.
After 3 months of political imbroglio occasioned by the long absence of Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, the Deputy Governor has officially assumed duty as governor in acting capacity. This came a day after the State House of Assembly acknowledged the letter sent to it by the governor. The acting governor in a state broadcast said the intrigues that ensued due to Governor Akeredolu's health challenges were avoidable distractions. He said that it was time for the state to return quickly to the path of accelerated progress that has eluded it in the last few months.
A moment for us to really appreciate the collective burden of moving our state forward. The events of the past months have indeed challenged our love for our state and indeed democracy, which we all profess. At no time in our history has unity among our people been so vital as it is at the present time. Unity of purpose, unity of effort, and unity of spirit, which are all essential to accomplish the task before us.
Mr. Aiyedatiwa promised to work with members of the cabinet to bring rapid development to the state. Ayodeji Moradeyo, TVC News, Akure.
The Lagos State Commander of the Nigeria Police now has a new commissioner. He is Adegoke Fayode. One of his target areas is traffic robbery, which he has promised to tackle, among others. Senior correspondent Ivy Kanu reports.
He is not new to most of the command management team, having served in various capacity and areas of the state. From here, they headed for the handing over at the conference room. DCP Wahid Ayilara has been holding forth in acting capacity. Then it was time to brief the press on his policing strategy.
My vision for effective policing of Lagos will rest on the following pillars. 1, community engagement. The police should be visible and accessible to the public, know and be known to the public, respond to community needs. We will place a strong emphasis on proactive measures to prevent criminal activities. Our focus will be on high-risk areas, on kidnapping and cultism, robbery and traffic robbery. A specialized unit made up of well-trained and properly equipped personnel will be established to work closely with other law enforcement agents. We shall collaborate with the judiciary to ensure swift prosecution and conviction of criminals to serve as deterrents to others. Area commanders and additional police officers will give daily updates on the level of compliance in the area of responsibility.
Human rights abuse, he says, will not be condoned this time, as stations will be visited unannounced.
In line with our commitment to upholding human rights, we will conduct regular and unannounced spot checks at police stations and holding cells. These checks will encompass a thorough review of weapons and ammunition to ensure strict adherence to recommended regulations. Police will be held accountable within the framework of established laws and regulations guided by the precise directive of Force Order 237 regarding the use of firearms.
Also, he may have to make some changes in the command for better output.
The command definitely will experience some changes. Aside from that, officers and men here will be put on their toes. Response to distress call will change.
While promising to work closely with sister agencies, he called on the public to trust the police with timely information that can help in curbing crimes. Ivy Kano, TVC News, Lagos.
Let's take a short break, and when we return, it will be time to speak with our guest of the day, who is the chairman of UNILAG chapter of Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, Professor Kayode Adebayo, for discussion on IPPIS and the state of university system in Nigeria. Please stay with us.
Lagos is the most visited state in Africa as the 5th largest economy on the continent. Covering the state and its government is no mere feat, it's a busy beat. We go beyond the curtain of tapes to travel in far into the deep.
I want to thank the Lagos State government for the healthcare facility.
To bring stories that cut across all spectrums.
A greater Lagos shall be ours.
We tell you stories that define our collective well-being as Lagosians. I'm Adedoja Salamadini. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
We have some breaking news from Rivers State as 2 more commissioners resign after State Attorney General. The leadership tussle in Rivers State has continued unabated. The Commissioner for Works, George Kelly Alabo, and his counterpart in social welfare, Inena Agoma, have resigned from the State Executive Council. Kelly Alabo, in a resignation letter to Governor Fubara through the Office of the Secretary to the state government, says the resignation is with immediate effect. It will be recalled that the Attorney General and the Commissioner for Justice had earlier tendered his resignation. The 3 commissioners are reportedly loyal to the former governor. Here's some weekend. We'll bring you more updates in our subsequent bulletins. Now let's go on with the conversation. Now let's move on with the conversation. Tonight I am joined by the chairman of UNILAG Chapter of Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, Professor Kayode Adebayo. Tonight we're discussing IPPIS and the state of university system in Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining us, Prof.
For having me.
Right, welcome to Politics Tonight. Now let's get started. This running battle over IPPIS appears to be over, as the federal government has now exempted universities and others from the platform. How do you feel about this?
Yes, thank you. And let me put it this way. I think it is a victory for ASUU. It is a confirmation that ASUU have been telling the government of Federal Republic of Nigeria the truth, the absolute truth, and nothing but the truth. It is a vindication that we, at the beginning, we already know the meaning of IPPIS, and we advise government that is not sustainable, it is not acceptable, it is incoherent with the Autonomous Act of University, and it is actually an instrument for corruption. And we are glad that that has been seen by this present government and it has taken the bull by the horn. So it is a welcome development.
Right. So before we go further, I would like us to have a proper background to this issue. What exactly informed ASUU's opposition to the IPPIS?
The first thing, let me put it this way. Look, the IPPIS is just a spreadsheet program that doesn't know anything about university system in Nigeria. It's an imported document, not developed by Nigeria. All the peculiarities of the Nigerian university system were not captured. And then ASUU saw it that it's very porous, and you can confirm that also from the Auditor General report on IPPIS. It's very porous, and there's nothing really in it. And because it's porous, it's very highly susceptible to corruption that they tend to actually prevent or curb. So ASUU saw it from the beginning that it was not going to work. It doesn't capture the essence of the university. Let me give you one example. For instance, a university lecturer, and not only lecturer, has the right to proceed on sabbatical leave. On sabbatical leave, when you are approved, you apply for it and it is processed and it is approved, the university you are going to for the sabbatical leave supposed to pay you some certain, to pay you your equivalent salary. You will be leaving your own university for another university in that same cadre that you belong to. This is a rigorous process. It's not just demo. Okay? Every lecturer, for example, you're only entitled to read when you reach a certain stage of qualification in the university system. I think you are from lecturer 1 or senior lecturer. You are qualified to go for, I think from senior lecturer, you are qualified to proceed to apply for sabbatical. So you will be paid by your university. You will also be paid by that university. It is called sabbatical leave. IPPIS has no idea of what that one means. IPPIS will regard you as somebody taking salary in 2 places and you are committing illegality. IPPIS, for example, doesn't understand the meaning of promotion. For example, university, October 1st, after 33 years, maybe you are promoted. In some cases, there will be area of promotion. IPPIS platform doesn't recognize it. As I speak to you, hundreds of people, of our members in all the universities owned by federal government are being owned like 1 year, 2 years, even in some cases more than 2 years of promotional years. The reason is that the IPPIS cannot recognize it and therefore, inflicting that huge damages, huge financial burden on our members. So, and you can keep counting. And apart from that, the operational system of IPPIS is actually highly corruptible. So, we know that from the beginning, and we offer to, and they challenge us to develop a system that can respond to that. ASUU went ahead using its own resources, developed UTAS. They use politics trying to kill it. IPPIS is a no-no to any civilized environment. IPPIS is just an imposition of IMF, an imposition of World Bank and their lenders. It is not actually an instrument that can do the work they said it's supposed to do. That is curbing all these so-called ghost worker. IPPIS itself is an agent of ghost worker. So that is it.
All right, Prof. Now, you just took me there, because if I were to go back and look at some of the reasons for the introduction of this scheme by the Jonathan administration, one of which you just mentioned, addressed the issue of ghost workers on the payroll, greater transparency and efficiency in the disbursement of salaries for civil servants. Are you saying there is none of this shortfall in the Nigerian university system?
It does not guarantee transparency. It does not guarantee eradication of ghost workers. And I'm saying it, that in fact, I think it didn't encourage, that ghost worker syndrome more than it used to be. It doesn't guarantee it. And that's why I said, please read the Auditor General's report on IPPIS. It is not something hidden. You Google it, read it. In fact, after that Auditor General report, that IPPIS is supposed to be scrapped. And it is now that we have a government who has all the willingness, perhaps, to address some of the rot that IPPIS has caused in the university system. And I mention it again, that IPPIS is an imposition. It contravenes the essence of the autonomous bill, the autonomy of the university. So it has no place in the university system. The financial system of the university, the university council is saddled with the responsibility about financial system of the university. And they render accounts to the appropriate authority. So in the real sense of it, it was an aberration that it was even conceived that university system to be subjected to such an illegal, a primitive system called IPPIS.
All right. So with this exemption, would you say ASUU's battle with the federal government over IPPIS is effectively over?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
I said
please?
With this exemption, can you categorically say that ASUU's battle with the federal government over IPPIS is effectively over?
Well, we want to hope so. We want to hope that the federal government has done what it's supposed to do. IPPIS is out of the way. IPPIS that has been disturbing all that has been frustrating the system, even to employ staff. I'm sure you know about the so-called Japa syndrome in the university. IPPIS is one of those agents of government that is responsible. The university could not even employ. You need to take permission from IPPIS and its other subsidiaries. Now that is over, and we believe it is effectively over forever, then the university system can have some certain level of fresh breath, and then we can return to some normality, and then we can start thinking and do things according to what we are guaranteed to do guaranteed by the autonomy of the university system.
All right. So ASUU championed this fight, but other institutions of higher learning will benefit. How do you feel about this as well?
How many institutions of higher learning will benefit? I think from what the FEC said, all the polytechnic, all the colleges of education owned by federal government that have been subjugated and subjected to that obnoxious system also will benefit. All of them also were complaining, even though the battle was waged by ASUU more profoundly, but all of them will benefit from it.
All right, Prof. So please help us understand the implication of this exemption for institutions of higher learning.
The implication?
Absolutely.
Yes, I just mentioned, for example, because of IPPIS, one, even employment of staff has been made difficult. University, I don't know, university could just not simply employ. IPPIS was a stumbling block. They couldn't just allow the university to do what it's supposed to do. Now that they are out of the way, perhaps some of our staff, we've lost a lot of staff also, due to many reasons though. One of them also is IPPIS. We've lost a lot of staff. Now that they're out of the way, the university system will be able to employ. I mentioned the case of people not being able to get their promotion arrears. That was not there before. It was after the incursion of IPPIS or imposition of IPPIS upon us that we started having the problem of people not getting their promotion arrears as at when due. People are being owed promotion arrears.
Prof, are you there? All right, let's take a break. I've been speaking with the chairman of UNILAG, chapter of Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, Professor Kayode Adebayo. We'll take a break and I'll be right back. Please stay with Politics Tonight.
sales, sales. Embrace the holiday spirit with a shopping extravaganza at the TVC Women's Network First Sales Fair. Join us for an amazing opportunity to explore a wide array of products and services at festive discounts. Discover irresistible offers. Mark your calendar, December 15th to 17th, 2023. Venue, TVC Communications, 1 Continental Drive off CMD Road, Ikosiketu, Lagos. Time, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. Immerse yourself in the festive vibe with a shopping spree featuring exciting games, stunning showcases, and live performances. Wrap up your shopping list with unmissable savings. For inquiries, call 0803-284-8509. Join us for an unforgettable holiday shopping adventure. This event is brought to you by TVC Communications.
Every week, Green Angle, in partnership with Wild Aid, will bring you a documentary series on environmental issues affecting Nigeria's amazing biodiversity, from climate change, air pollution, and wildlife conservation. We will be traveling across Nigeria to give you on-the-ground report of the issues affecting our environment. It airs every Saturday at 4:30 p.m. only on TVC News. In the month of December, the 1st is World AIDS Day, while the 2nd of December is International Day for the Abolition of Slavery. On the 3rd is International Day of Persons with Disabilities. On the 4th of December, attention shifts as the day is dedicated to World Wildlife Conservation. The 7th is International Civil Aviation Day, and on the 9th is International Anti-Corruption Day. On the 10th is Human Rights Day, and on the 21st is World Basketball Day. 25th is Christmas Day, when Christians celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. The day after is Boxing Day, which is on the 26th. And on the 31st is New Year's Eve. Brace yourself and tune in to TVC News for in-depth reporting and analysis on these days. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Information is power, information is security, information is knowledge. On Labor Lens, we believe that working people around the world have real questions of their own. They want to know how the world of work operates, what it means to the employer of labor, how policies affect workers in the workplace. On Labor Lens, I ensure we engage effectively the organized labor, organized private sector, and government to get out of them information workers are in need of. I am Sharon Ijason, asking questions that make you get sense of the workplace.
The TVC News at 7 and the TVC News at 10 are not like any other news broadcast.
It's the big news hour, the hour for the big breaking stories.
We've got some of the best reporters on the field,
Taking you through as it happened.
It's fast-paced, hard-hitting,
With investigations that matter.
bringing in news that affects your life.
With sport, entertainment, and business news, so you don't miss a thing.
Experience resourceful coverage with depth.
Every night.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty, erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Martin Luther King Jr. was born in Atlanta, Georgia, January 15, 1929. The son of a Baptist minister, King received a doctorate degree in theology and in 1955 helped organize the first major protest of the African American civil rights movement, the successful Montgomery bus boycott. King participated in and led marches for the right to vote, desegregation, labor rights, and other civil rights. He advocated civil disobedience and non-violent opposition against segregation in the South, influenced by Mahatma Gandhi. The peaceful protests he led throughout the American South were often met with violence. Nonetheless, Dr. King and his supporters were persistent and the movement gained momentum. Dr. King was a powerful orator. He appealed to Christian and American ideals and won growing support from the federal government and Northern White. In 1963, Bayard Rustin and A. Philip Randolph led the massive march on Washington for jobs and freedom. The event's grand finale was King's famous I Have a Dream speech. 250,000 people gathered outside the Lincoln Memorial to hear the stirring speech. In 1964, the civil rights movement achieved two of its greatest successes: the ratification of the 24th Amendment, which abolished the poll tax, and the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which prohibited racial discrimination in employment and education and outlawed racial segregation in public facilities. In the same year, King became the youngest person to win the Nobel Peace Prize. In the late 1960s, King openly criticized U.S. involvement in Vietnam and turned his efforts to winning economic rights for poor Americans. He was a leader of the American Civil Rights Movement and organized a number of peaceful protests as head of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, including the March on Washington in 1963. He was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee on April 4th, 1968.
Every weekday on Business Nigeria, we uncover the secret of the financial world,
breaking down intricate economic and financial matters.
We analyze the stock market, shares, bonds, and the thrilling world of cryptocurrencies.
We unveil and analyze complex policies of the CBN and other government parastatals as they affect your everyday life, keeping you a step ahead every time.
Okay, this is good. Facts matter. Our team dives deep to separate facts from popular opinion.
We simplify complex government policies as it impacts your everyday life, helping you navigate the ever-changing financial landscape.
Watch Business Nigeria every weekday at 2 p.m. only on TVC News. First with breaking news.
Experience information and entertainment like never before as TVC Breakfast takes your weekends to a whole new level. Introducing TVC Breakfast Weekend Edition, your ultimate source of thrilling sports updates, insightful political analysis, and captivating entertainment news. Stay in the know with what's trending, catch up with the latest in sports, and immerse yourself in the latest buzz from the world of music and movies. Your weekends are no longer just days off, but moments packed with knowledge, excitement, and enjoyment. TVC Breakfast Weekend Edition, only on TVC News.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
There is always more to a story than the screaming headline. The part of a story that is not told casts a shadow. It's like the part of an object that is not reached by light. On TVC News, I'm able to explore the many angles there are to a story, talking to stakeholders, asking the difficult questions, and digging for facts. I believe the viewers are able to make a better decision if they're well informed and understand not just a part, but the complete story. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Sales, sales, sales! Embrace the holiday spirit with a shopping extravaganza at the TVC Women's Network First Sales Fair. Join us for an amazing opportunity to explore a wide array of products and services at festive discounts. Discover irresistible offers. Mark your calendar, December 15th to 17th, 2023. Venue, TVC Communications, 1 Continental Drive off CMD Road, Ikosiketu, Lagos. Time, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. Immerse yourself in the festive vibe with a shopping spree featuring exciting games, stunning showcases, and live performances. Wrap up your shopping list with unmissable savings. For inquiries, call 0803-284-8509. Join us for an unforgettable holiday shopping adventure. This event is brought to you by TVC Communications.
Voted as the best TV station of the year. TVC News breaks into the core of every event as they happen. Following all nationwide big and impactful stories. Without the news from every perspective. Covering every human angle. I am Veronica, bringing you the news you would want to watch.
Akiwande Wole Soyinka was born on 13th July 1934 in Abeokuta, Nigeria, to parents Samuel and Grace Soyinka. His education began with the Christian lessons of his parents as well as the more traditional Yoruba spiritual customs taught to him by his grandfather. He had his preparatory university studies at Government College Ibadan in 1954, subsequently University College Ibadan, and he continued at the University of Leeds, earned a bachelor's degree in English literature. Soyinka's master's degree focused on projects combining his Yoruba culture with traditional British theatre traditions. He later returned to school in Nigeria to study African theatre, during which time he continued to produce poems and plays, one of which appeared on Nigerian television. Shortly after, he became the chief of the Cathedral of Drama at the University of Ibadan. Nigeria had only recently gained independence from Britain and political corruption was at a high. Soyinka's plays and poems became increasingly political and he began giving speeches protesting government corruption. He was accused of conspiring with the Biafra rebels. He was therefore arrested and imprisoned in 1967 for almost 2 years during the Civil War, but managed during his time to write numerous poems. He was finally released in 1969 after a brief period in France. He returned to his position at the university where he founded the magazine Black Orpheus. He left his position and Nigeria in 1971, wary of the political climate of the country. During this time, he published books of poetry and essays. His plays were collected and published, and newer plays were staged. In 1986, he was the first African to win the Nobel Prize in Literature for a wide cultural perspective and with poetic overtones fashioning the drama of existence. He dedicated his acceptance speech to Nelson Mandela and used the platform to criticize apartheid. Later that same year, Soyinka was awarded the Ajib Prize and in 1988 published his book Mandela's Earth and all the poems as well as art, dialogue, and outrage, essays on literature and culture. He also accepted a position at Cornell University. Throughout his life, he has served as a spokesman against apartheid and government corruption. He has won numerous other awards for his work, including the Anisfield Wolf Book Award, the Academy of Achievement Golden Plate Award, and the Ajib Prize for Literature, and he has taught at many prestigious universities, including Emory University, Harvard, and Obafemi Awolowo University. In his lifetime, Soyinka has published 2 novels, 3 collections of short stories, made 3 movies, translated 2 novels, 5 memoirs, 7 poetry collections, 13 essay collections, and produced nearly 30 plays. He holds honorary doctorates from numerous universities and has been invited to teach in schools around the world. He continues to write prolifically in spite of a bout with prostate cancer in 2014. Wole Soyinka, the Nigerian playwright and political activist, has positioned himself as a voice of the voiceless through his piece of art. He has distinguished himself as the African icon that continuously makes a mark in African literature and the world at large.
In the month of December, the 1st is World AIDS Day, while the 2nd of December is International Day for the Abolition of Slavery. On the 3rd is International Day of Persons with Disabilities. On the 4th of December, attention shifts as the day is dedicated to World Wildlife Conservation. The 7th is International Civil Aviation Day, and on the 9th is International Anti-Corruption Day. On the 10th is Human Rights Day, and on the 21st is World Basketball Day. 25th is Christmas Day, when Christians celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. The day after is Boxing Day, which is on the 26th. And on the 31st is New Year's Eve. Brace yourself and tune in to TVC News for in-depth reporting and analysis on these days. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Sometimes it's the story that calls. At other times, the people just want to be heard.
School, I need students, but I need teacher.
Can't continue like this.
Their voices re-echoing through time itself.
We haven't done anything.
If the tide is high, everybody run for safety.
Their tears leave a sweet sour taste for all their demands. A familiar call beckoning for change. In our world, no one expects a disaster to happen. But when it does, we'll be there to x-ray all sides, from the east to the west, north and south. Community Forum will examine the oddities and challenges to economic development, as well as issues yearning for government intervention. Watch fresh episodes of Community Forum on Sundays by 9:30 p.m. only on TVC News.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Please let government look after us because we are for them, they are for us.
Locals living in communities around Kaba in Kogi State and Ekiti North communities of Omo, Itaji, Ayede, Ijesha-Ishu, Odworo and Ikole Ekiti have tales of woe to tell. In recent times, their livelihoods have been disrupted due to the sudden influx of heavy-duty vehicles through their route, who have destroyed the roads linking the two states, essentially cutting them off from economic life. The ongoing raining season have further worsened the already poor state of federal roads in Ekiti. Commuters, livestock, haulage and goods are often stuck on this critical linkage route between the north and south of Nigeria for hours, even days, due to blockage at times in key sections along this critical road. Coming from Abuja, we are witness to how dilapidated the roads are once we link onto Kaba. But we are not prepared for how really terrible it gets once we get into Ekiti State, who appears to bear the greater brunt of the road crisis. Ekiti, a small state with traditionally well-paved roads, has during this raining season experienced a sudden influx of heavy-duty trucks, trailers, LPG and LNG articulated vehicles. This is due to the poor state of the main trunk A road that connects Lagos to Ore to Lokoja, which has irretrievably broken down after many years of little or no maintenance. The inevitable use of Ekiti's smaller alternative trunk A roads, built more than 30 years ago, having exceeded their design life, has led to the pain and suffering of road users over the past year. Ngozi Okechukwu and Nkechinyere are sisters into the business of selling Irish potatoes produce. Their truck toppled over on this road, spilling its content. They tell me they have been here for 5 days with no help in sight to move their goods. Their driver, Mohammed Musa, has reached out to his employer to send another vehicle which is yet to arrive.
Road no, they will suffer for road. See my truck 4 years, since 4 days now. We don't see help.
don't try. We find another truck now to transload the load.
Almost 5 days I'm here looking for motor, but no motor will come and carry my goods. And I'm supposed to make like 8 million, but now look at my goods. They are all damages.
On this road, several vehicles conveying livestock break down and the animals get lost in transit.
I'm taking this road.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking it.
Welcome back to Politics Tonight, everyone. Thank you so much for staying with us. Tonight, we're focused on IPPIS and the state of university system in Nigeria. And I've been speaking with the chairman of Unilag Chapter of Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, Professor Kayode Adebayo. Prof, let's move on with this conversation. Now that IPPIS is out of the way, how will the university staff be paid? And talking about UTES, what becomes of it now?
Yes, I've said it. I said, look, the first relief for the university system is that the university can now employ as at when due. That was not made possible because of the introduction of IPPIS. So now that it has been removed, that's point one, we'll be able to deal with our own internal affairs. The power of employment of academic staff is vested in Senate of the university. And then we could then put heads together, know the number of staff we want to employ, and we can do that. IPPIS didn't make that possible before. And as we speak, we have a lot of staff shortage. In some universities, they are talking about 300. I saw something about a university saying 1,000 academic staff. Everywhere in all the Nigerian universities, academic staff are leaving. Some they have left and they are still living. So IPPIS that have been an obstructing of debt for the university administration to be able to place adverts for recruitment of new staff. Now that it is out of the way, at least we'll be able to do that.
All right.
At least we'll be able to replace some of those staff. I also mentioned that, look, now that it is out of the way, the affair, the promotion and everything of university staff, the promotion areas that we'll be fighting for, how that is now will be a thing of the past. We'll be able to get our promotion areas as at when due, the one they are owing us, they will be able to pay. All those things that IPPIS has distorted in the university system, I mentioned that of going on sabbatical leave that has been made almost, it is not almost, it is impossible if you are going to sabbatical leave in any other federal university. And sabbatical leave is part of the system. Sabbatical leave allows you to interact with other colleagues in other universities. It is a leave guaranteed by the university system. IPPIS doesn't know anything about that. Now that IPPIS is out of our way, we'll be able to return to normal university system. IPPIS was almost turning university, if not totally, to kind of just a primitive so-called academic environment. So it is a good thing that it's out of the way, and it should never come back to the university system. Let it go to wherever it belongs, but not in the university system.
All right. Thank you so much, Prof. Sadly, we could not cover the entire span of this conversation, but I'm sure we'll have another time to continue this discussion. Thank you so much. I've been speaking with the chairman of UNILAG chapter of Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, Professor Kayode Adebayo. Tonight we focused on IPPIS and the state of university system in Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining us, Prof.
Thank you for having me.
Right. And thanks a lot for watching. That's all we have for you on Politics Tonight. But the conversation continues from here. Get in touch with us on Twitter at TVC News NG and at Olajumoke using the hashtag Politics Tonight. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Olajumoke Olatuji. Good night.
Enjoy an exciting sports betting experience and get a chance to become the next Betano millionaire. Follow Betano across social media. Download the app, register and place a bet of at least 1,000 naira to win amazing prizes. The grand prize of 5 million naira plus many other rewards. Join Betano now and start winning. Betano, the game starts now. Not for persons under the age of 18.
In the month of December, the 1st is World AIDS Day, while the 2nd of December is International Day for the Abolition of Slavery. On the 3rd is International Day of Persons with Disabilities. On the 4th of December, attention shifts as the day is dedicated to World Wildlife Conservation. The 7th is International Civil Aviation Day, and on the 9th is International Anti-Corruption Day. On the 10th is Human Rights Day, and on the 21st is World Basketball Day. 25th is Christmas Day, when Christians celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. The day after is Boxing Day, which is on the 26th, and on the 31st is New Year's Eve. Brace yourself and tune in to TVC News for in-depth reporting and analysis on these days. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Sometimes it's the story that calls. At other times, the people just want to be heard.
School, I need students, but I need teachers.
Can't continue like this.
Their voices re-echoing through time itself.
We haven't done anything.
If the tide is high, everybody run for safety.
Their tears leave a sweet sour taste for all their demands. A familiar call beckoning for change. In our world, no one expects a disaster to happen. But when it does, we'll be there to x-ray all sides, from the east to the west, north and south. Community Forum will examine the oddities and challenges to economic development, as well as issues yearning for government intervention. Watch fresh episodes of Community Forum on Sundays by 9:30 p.m. only on TVC News.
Nigeria's Niger Delta region, where the black gold continues to flow and fuel Africa's largest economy, where the line between wealth and poverty has never been thinner. Oil, gas, politics, development and community issues all are highly valuable commodities in the Niger Delta. How do they combine and how can they work together to spawn a new era in the Niger Delta? As he probes deep to analyze issues in the region from angles never before explored. Inside the Niger Delta with Mamode Akuga, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Feel the power. Welcome to Right Righteous Invasion of Truth with Dr. Abel Damina.
Welcome to Righteous Invasion of Truth Riot, presented by the Power Broadcasting Network. Abel Damina is my name. I want to welcome you today to an exciting time of the study of God's Word. I'm so excited to have you here. Wherever you're watching this broadcast around the world, I'd like you to call a friend, a loved one, a family member. Ask them to connect to this TV station right now. It's going to be an exciting study of God's Word. You know, the entrance of God's Word brings joy. The entrance of God's Word brings light. It brings understanding to the simple. It's going to be an exciting study today as we unveil the riches and the treasures of God's grace. My prayer for you is the same prayer Brother Paul prayed for the churches in the New Testament, that the eyes of your understanding be enlightened. I pray for you today that you stand complete and perfect in all of God's will. That as the word is taught, your mind is open, your heart is open, and as the word is taught, solution and answers, revelation knowledge grows big in your heart until nothing else matters. In Jesus' name, amen. Now listen carefully. Our phone numbers are coming on the screen in the course of teaching. If you have a question you want to ask, you can call us. You can reach out to us in the course of the broadcast. People are waiting on the line to pray, to counsel, and to supply answers to queries you may have. I have a magazine I want to send to you free of charge today. Every one of you watching the broadcast, wherever you're watching around the world, I want to send this